What is going down, YouTube family? It is your boy Zary, and before we get into the video, one thing I want to tell you is, if you are just starting this game and you are under level 15, make sure you're using my promo code. Down in the description of my video is a link if you're just finding this channel for the first time. Click that link to download Dragon Champions on iOS or Android. Once you do that, click the cog setting, wrong way, right there above me. Click that cog setting. Inside the cog setting, you are going to see the use promo code. Make sure you're clicking on that. When you're in the promo code, type in XMG gift. Hit the OK button and get $10 worth of free stuff. So with that being said, my YouTube family, enjoy the free stuff. Help support the channel. I love y'all. Enjoy the video. What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary, and it is Friday night, and a little late on this one, but I want to get out the patch notes breakdown. And we got a new patch 1.4.102, and we got 3 new characters coming. We got some 7 and 8 abilities for Cruel. We're going to go over that. We got some small little patch, but I think it's going to be okay. I think it's actually going to be pretty good. So what we're going to do here is read the patch notes in case you're not on Discord or Reddit or Facebook, and I like to jump around, and currently I am on my buddy Bones' Discord. So I like to mix it up, and that's where we're at. So we're going to start at the top, and it says this week we are releasing a small update. It's already in the game, mostly with under the hood improvements and upgrades so the game looks and runs smoother. Besides that, we are preparing for next month's Battle Pass season, activities and events, so be on the lookout for new things to take part in. Also, we're introducing several new heroes, new ability levels for Cruel, and some quality of life fixes. Here's what's new in the update. And then we're going to go over to the test server, because that way you can see characters, models, because, you know, with me going away, I don't really know who's in the game yet or not. Just taking with a grain of salt, everything on this test server you are seeing is subject to change if it's not already in the game, so keep that in mind. So right now we have a new hero, Mara, Order Rogue Human Mentor Epic, available in the Season of Ash starting August 1st. Now, I've play tested one of these 3 characters, and so I'm going to give you my initial reaction when these first came out. Me and Bones went back and forth, talking it out, and I'm going to give you my initial reactions. Now, keep in mind, like I said, I haven't play tested any of these characters, so let's jump over to the test server and check out Mara. Now, Mara is behind me, and she is a human. Like we talked about, she is that human rogue mentor, and she's an epic. And she's the Battle Pass character. Now there's 3 characters, and if they do it like anything they did before, they're going to do one event where they launch one character and another event where they launch another character. Could be wrong, but that's just speculation on my part. But Mara is very cool looking. She's got the dreadlocks, very demon-esque for a human. So loving the tattoos on her, though. I think they're awesome. So we're just going to quickly go over her kits, and we're just going to go right to level 7. She deals 300% burning on a basic, the Ash Swing, removes all burning stacks from the enemy, and removes 1 buff for each removed burning effect. So basic ability is a dispel based on burning, so fits into a burn comp, which I've actually been playing around with. You know, if we back out here, I've been playing with a Thanisa, Lake Ember, a Mara, and a Cabin Bob burn team, and I actually think Mara could fit into that team very, very nicely. So that's something I'm interested to get in and play around with. Her A2, Infernal Incineration. At tier 7, she deals 600 magic damage to an enemy, so we're seeing another single target, inflicts burning for 1 turn for each allied demon. So I don't like this caveat at all. I don't like how they put in demon, allied demons. So are we pairing her with humans? Are we pairing her with demons? I don't like that little caveat, and I just don't like that. Here, look in the eyes. Is her A3 ability. You inflict a accuracy decrease for 1 turn, and then you gain accuracy increase, counterattack haste for 2 turns, gain 10% of turn meter for each allied human. Again, it reads a lot like Diesel Rock to me. Do you want her with... You know, Dieselrug's got the goblin orc synergy. You make a mishmash, it doesn't work. I mean, we're going to take a look here at demons in a minute. But what demon burns, really? You know, think about that. So the synergy's kind of off there. I don't care for that. But you do gain an accuracy increase, counterattack, and haste. And her basic is one of her best abilities. Here at tier 7, when you're removing all burning effects and then remove one buff for each burning effect, that is a positive. But her passive ability is Foggy Future at level 7. She has blind immunity and gains a 15% magic damage increase for each allied human and a 15% increase, which effectiveness, I asked, its potency was a mistype on the test server for each allied demon. Again, who are you putting her with? She is a magic damage dealer, okay, but Mara could be fun. From what I'm hearing and reading in the test server chat, she is fun to play around with, but she's my least favorite of all three of these. And like I said, we're gonna just go over to the demons, and because I can't think of a demon off the top of my head that burns, and that could be a real problem, because who are you gonna put her with? Shadar doesn't, Santera, Buff, Radat, none of these people burn. So that's kind of a messed up synergy in my mind, but it is what it is, and I hit the wrong button like always when I do these videos. So let's jump over to the next character here, and that would be Gnar. Gnar is a Clans Orc Ranger Explorer and a legendary, available in the game soon. Jumping over to the test server, you see Gnar. Gnar isn't my favorite skin in the world. This is kind of a pre-revamped skin, but he has a very, very solid kit, and we're going to go over that now. At level 7, his Slingshot is his basic ability, 360 physical damage, and inflicts daze for 2 turns. Simple, basic. Daze is great for shutting down the human counterattacks, goblins, things like that, so he could be super beneficial just for his basic alone. His second ability is called the Iron, the Big, and the Ugly. He is a level 7. At level 7, it's 320 physical damage to all enemies, inflicts bleeding and armor decrease for 2 turns. Pairs very well with the Zera synergy. Zera inflicts something, if I can't think of it off the top of my head, if the enemy is bleeding, she puts on like a heal block or a buff immunity or ability block. We'll check that out real quick when we're done, just to be sure. But even at tier 6, this is very, very usable. 260 physical damage is kind of low on an AoE, but he inflicts bleeding for 2 turns and an armor decrease for 1. That plays into his Catch the Curveball. At level 7, 480 physical damage to the enemy, decreases the target's turn meter by 50%, inflicts stun for 1 turn if they're under an armor decrease, and he gains 50% turn meter on the hit, so that is huge. His tier 6 is still pretty good, 25% turn meter, stun for 1 turn, so very, very nice. I like where this is going. But as you see here, the cooldown, you got to use this on your 3rd turn, and you can use this Iron, the Big, the Bad, and the Ugly right away. So this T7 is going to become pretty pivotal to the armor decrease for that 3rd ability. Moving over to his passive is the Power Training. He gains 12% increase to physical damage for each living orc in the party, and he gains, after he deals damage, he gains a damage increase and an accuracy increase for 1 turn. Now, he has an 80% chance at tier 6, guaranteed at tier 7. The damage increase is going to be nice because that AoE is kind of soft, and then the accuracy increase is good for landing, making sure that he gets that hit. So very, very good ability here. And we're just going to jump over to Zera real quick, because I do want to see, I think it's on her 3rd ability. If all 3 attacks hit, the target applies bleeding for 2 turns and an ability block for 1. Maybe it's her AoE ability. If the target is bleeding, applies buff immunity for 2 turns. So there it is. Now you don't have to wait to set that up. He can come through, put on that bleeding with the AoE. She can come through with her Vortex of Pain and put on that buff immunity. Really could shut down a Eric Shield Breaker, that combination. Something to test out, something to try. But Gnar, I think, is going to be a super fun character, and I'm interested to get him and see how it all plays out. Last character is Noelle. Noelle is an Order Dwarf Mage Traveler leader in an epic. Jump back over to the game so we can check out Noelle. Here's Noelle, and she is cool looking. She's on like a little glider. She's got some things up top there. She is really cool. And when I first read her kit, I thought, this is insanity. She's broken. Some people have been testing her already, and they're saying she's still beatable with average comps, but she makes the dwarves one hell of a lot better. But let's jump into her kit so you can check that out. Tier 7, Power Ray is her basic ability. She's a magic damage dealer, 300% magic damage. If charge is less than 50%, she restores 20% of her charge. Or she absorbs that 20% of the charge, and for every 5% absorbed, she deals an additional 30% magic damage. So you could get that 4 times. You could deal an additional 120% magic damage. 420 basic is really, really big and pretty damn solid. Now, I did take her to gear 11 just to check out her base stats, and she's at 3116 unruined at gear 11. So you could probably do some pretty good damage with that basic if you take it to tier 7. Now, her double destruction is her second ability. She attacks enemy 2 times. Each attack deals 240 magic damage. Now she absorbs 20% of the charge, and for every 5% charge, she restores shield equal to 6% of the damage. So you are looking at another 24% shield restored from that damage. So shield equal to 24% of the damage if you have the 20% charge. Now that is huge. Very big. Her Annihilation, this move is just silly. Deals 700% of magic damage to all enemies. Can't be dodged, and then inflicts blind for 1 turn. But look at the cooldown. 25. Massive cooldown. I don't know how you're ever going to get this off. It's going to be big. Then her secondary energy is the passive ability. When allied dwarves consume charge, for every 5% of charge absorbed, Noelle gains 30% chance to reduce the cooldown of Annihilation by 1 turn. So every time somebody else uses 5% charge, you have a 30% chance to take that down. So say you have 20% charge all the time, you're using a move like your basic, usually that is the standard for dwarves, so you would have chance to decrease it per that. Now it does come down pretty fast, but it's still hard to get off. If chance is more than 100%, skill is activated twice, loses 10% charge upon taking damage. Standard skill there. Leadership ability. Leadership ability is Scientific Advisor. All allied dwarves start the fight with 100% charge. This alone is massive. If the allied dwarf has 100% charge at the start of the turn, removes 2 debuffs and gains immunity to debuffs for 1 turn. Massive. So you really want her to go as fast as possible. So you really want her to kind of be the slowest on the team, because at the start of the fight they get that 100% charge. This really helps against those AoE slaughtering teams which are just nuking down dwarves. Really is going to make a difference, because then it's going to bring down that Annihilation. She just seems crazy good, and she is probably my favorite out of everybody here. And more playtesting to come on her, and that'll be an interesting noob series for sure with Noelle here. So should be fun. Now the next one up is the 7 and 8 abilities for Cruel. We're going to jump back over to the test server and check those out. Alright, so here we are in the test server. We're going to go over these quickly to keep the video moving along. The Healing Darkness is her basic ability. Pretty much you're gaining magic damage and health. So you're recovering health for you and your summoned reflection by 80%, and then it's 100%, and they're upping the damage at level 8. I completely understand why they did this, because she is a notoriously squishy character, so this could really help the survivability of her. Not my favorite. Don't know if I'd sink scrolls into it right away, because I don't really feel this 7 and 8 makes her really viable. Because when we get to her basic, there's something we gotta talk, or her passive, there's something we gotta talk about. I Am the Knight, you get 70% magic damage, and if the enemy is a defender, you gain slow for 2 turns. I really do like the way this plays out, because putting on the invisibility does shut down the tank, and then you're slowing them for 2 turns, so if they do have a passive dispeller like a hard orc or somebody like that on their team, they can pull that slow off instead of the invisibility. So like that quite a bit. Or if they have a taunt after you've made them invisible, they're still going to be slowed. So it's kind of got its double-edged sword to it, but not a bad one. Then on the creative reflection, you get 5% health and shield, 5% damage, so you were at 70, then you go to 75 for all of them, and it reduces the max cooldown by 1, which is okay, but I wish it would have been the initial cooldown. If they reduced the initial cooldown by 1, that would have made it a lot better, because once you create a reflection, if they're still alive, you don't use it again, and then she's dead before you can use it again, so that's kind of rough there. So her passive ability kind of got changed a little bit. Now she has a 50% chance to gain invisibility for all allied mages. So you could put her with a full mage team or only 2 mages, and you're not going to get, you don't need the 3. You still got a 50% shot, so that's kind of nice. So maybe she'll be a little bit more plug and played. But if you still have the 3, mages are among allies in battle. They gain invisibility for 2 turns at tier 7. That's big. The 2 turns is big if there's 3 of them. And then Cruel gains 10 speed for each allied mage under invisible. That's good, because she is a notoriously slow character. So overall, I can understand what they were trying to do here. A lot of people will kill off the reflection because it doesn't have the health and things like that, so that you reduce the initial cooldown. You can get one back faster, or the max cooldown, not the initial. And then her passive, putting in the caveat where you can have a 50% shot regardless of how many mages are in there, really ups her survivability. And her basic is okay, trying to heal herself a little bit, but all in all, I mean, I'm not going to rush out to do this, but playtesting is in order, so we're going to have to see how that plays out. So they did some various visual improvements, and one of the ones I'm noticing now, some people aren't a fan of it, but I am a big fan of this, and I like how you can see the damage scroll up. You can actually read it even on 4 speed a little bit better. You can see the buffs they're putting on themselves or the debuffs you land. I do like it quite a bit. You can now fix the camera in a preferred angle when you battle. I like this mainly as a tester. Now I can spin the camera around and leave it there, and it will stay there, and you can see the damage a little better, or you can see the abilities a little bit better. That is a cool little fix, and I like it. Improvements to leveling up heroes. It is now more comprehensive in case you miss some resources. I don't like this at all, because there's not a confirmation button. If there was a confirmation button, I'd have no problem with it, but there is no confirmation button, and you spend draw coins without knowing it, and it can really ruin what you're saving up for. And then there's other small fixes and improvements. And then they talk about Cruel. Her balance change, bound by shadow. They've added, we already talked about it, but in case you didn't understand it, she now has a 50% chance to gain invisibility on all random allied mages for 1 turn at the end of her turn. So, you know, and it used to have all allied healers gain cheat death, blah, 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 blah. And all that stuff's gone. So, that is the patch. And before we go off, there was another little thing that came out today where they teased an assassin half pig, and today they're teasing a panda rogue hero. So just some artwork there for the panda rogue. Pretty excited to see how that is. We have nothing on, you know, what her skills are going to be. We don't know anything. This is just pretty much exactly what everybody knows. And, you know, we just got some cool little things, so I think that is pretty damn cool. So this patch, all in all, I like it. I mean, there wasn't anything groundbreaking. 3 new characters in one patch is extremely cool. Can't wait to see that. And let me know your comments down below. I mean, my favorite is Noelle and Gnar, and then Mara. So Mara is the battle pass, so I was assuming she would be the least coveted of all 3. She is going to be a good addition, but there will be some playtesting to come on that. And as I talked about in the beginning of the video, the half pigs won the vote, so thank you for everybody who voted in that. And later this week, we will see the first noob series, and I can't wait to get your feedback on that. So with that being said, that's what I got for everybody. Let me know who your favorite new character is, what you think of this mini little patch compared to all the patches we've had in the past. Really, really nice. There's nothing really to be upset about in this patch, other than the fact of the improvements for leveling up heroes. There needs to be a confirmation button. Everything else, I really can't bitch or complain about. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out, and I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out.